Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sayang Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Siyuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadhaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Bancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kipa Sindhu Vacha Patitanang Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhya Nama Nama जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे श्री गुरु दीनतारणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्यमीश्वरम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्र मरुतो स्तुवन्ति देवस्तवैः वेदै साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदै गायन्ति यं सामगा ध्यानावस्थित यद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यन्तान विदुसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः पृष्ठे भ्राम्यदमन्दमन्दरगिरे ग्रावाग्रकुण्डो यनन् निद्रालोकमठकृतिर्भगवता श्वासानिलपन्तु यत्संस्कारकलानुवर्तनवशात् वेलानिवेनं यता यता मतन्द्रितं जलनिधेर्नद्यापि विश्रमते Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Even though we are not exactly reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, but these teachings are all extracted from Srimad Bhagavatam. So in that way, we are discussing about only Bhagavatam. And also it's based on the teachings of person Bhagavata, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our dear Srila Prabhupada. So this is exactly in line with the Bhagavad discussion. So last time we actually discussed about different types of anarthas, and there we have given some definition of different types of anarthas in the name of tattva vibram, like misidentification of the absolute truth, then weakness of your heart, then there are anarthas uh, while dealing with the Vaishnavas. We also discussed about that, and also we discussed about the first anartha which Krishna killed in his Leela in Brajadham is the killing of Putana. So in total, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur discusses about 18 anarthas from the pastimes of Lord Krishna in Brajadham, Vrindavan. And unless one clears up all these anarthas, they cannot actually enter into the Brajalila or the pastimes of Krishna in pure devotional mood. So these anarthas, which are very important for a sadhaka to remove to enter into the pure devotional mood, has been categorized in different way. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in through the Krishna Leela, he is giving the number as 18. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he added 2 more on top of this, 20. But Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Pad, he actually described in a different way, but we won't go in his path. We'll try to discuss based on Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's presentation. Okay, so the first we discussed is the killing of Putana, which represents the false guru, the identification of false guru. So the false guru can be 2 ways. One is the gurus can be 2 ways. One is antaranga guru, like internal guru. Another one is the bahiranga guru, the external guru. So the person who are taking shelter of the internal guru, antaranga guru, who connects him to pure devotional service, he is under the shelter of a right person. But the person who is more attracted to the person who is dealing with the external things rather than the internal cultivation or devotional service, that person cannot progress much in the path of devotional service. Sometimes this external guru is also considered as the logic. We have our own understanding of things. sometimes this external guru is also considered the misunderstanding of the truth. So that is also sometimes thwarting us to develop in a spiritual path. So this we discussed in length in our previous session. That the next anartha, which is the killing of Trinavarta. You know that Krishna killed Trinavarta when he was 1+ years old. You know, it was done when Krishna's birthday was performed, and after few days of his birthday, Trinavarta appeared in Brajadham like a wild wind, and he took Krishna in top of the sky, and Krishna was making himself, very heavy like a mountain, and he was also choking him in his neck, like he could not breathe after some time, and that's how Trinavarta was killed. Like he came down from the top of the sky, and he crashed into a slab stone, a heaviest stone, and that's how he was killed. So this Trinavarta, the killing of Trinavarta, is actually removing the anartha of learning, too much learning, pride of learning, logics. You are if you are like all of we are like very much inclined to understand things by our own logic, own conscience, own judgment, right? I should say, and we use the false argument to establish our point. Especially the lawyers, they have to actually make a lot of arguments, right, to get rid of the argument of the opposite lawyer or opposite party. So that is also there in living entities. They create false arguments to establish what they are doing is correct. If you go to an atheist or an agnostic person and tell him that, oh, this is the right path, pure devotional service, you should actually take this path and act based on the teachings of the previous acharyas, they will give you a lot of, in our language we say, they will show you high court. That there are so many logics. They will say that, okay, there are higher things to do in this material world. People are dying of this disease, that disease. People are suffering from hunger. People are poor. Why don't you solve those problems first, and then you take pure devotional service when those problems are solved? And now material world is a place of problem. You cannot solve problem of this material world at any time. It's not possible. It's a place of suffering. So but the main problem is that people are devoid of Krishna consciousness. That's the main problem. So these arguments, these logics, these false arguments hinders your progress towards the devotional service. You become doubtful whether it is the right process, or if you have a, like some people are by nature, they're critical, they have critical thinking attitude. They can think things differently than most of the normal persons. It's very difficult to convince them. And then also this shastric knowledge or the process of devotional service, if somebody doesn't have faith, you cannot just tell them that this is written in the shastra, or this is what it is meant to be. They cannot take it like that. And that is a great example of this mentioned in the pastimes of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, right? When Gopinath Acharya was explaining the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya first met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri Dham, inside the temple sanctum, that time Gopinath Acharya was giving a lot of arguments. He was actually quoting from Shastras, Srimad Bhagavatam, and this and that. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not convinced. He was a big logician. He was actually topmost logician of that time, Nayayik. And Navadip was the place of the topmost place of Nayayiks, logicians, like the Madhusudhan Bachashpati, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. They were the topmost logician of the whole India at that time. So he was not convinced, even though he learned so much, he knew so much Shastras. So then Gopinath Acharya told, actually, you won't understand it. Unless you get the kripa, the mercy of the Supreme Lord, you won't understand this truth. Even though it is evident, it's quite clear that lucid that he is the Supreme Personality of God. By the way, my voice is clear, I hope, right? There is no issue, right? Because sometimes people say that my voice is coming from far away.
Yes, Prabhu, you're very clear.
Thank you, Balaram, for confirming that. So this is the problem with too much argument, and also sometimes we become proud of our material achievements. Janmo Aishwarya Shruti Shribi Yadamano Madhapomano Naiva Arhati Avidatum Vai Tam Akinchana Gosharam. Srimati Kunti Devi in her prayer said, the person who are mad, who are pride of their janma, their birth, their opulences, their beauty, their knowledge, they cannot actually know you in truth. And only you are known by the person who doesn't have anything to do with this material world. Akinchana Gocharam. Only you are known by those people. So that is another problem, that when we are very puffed up with our material achievements, that also creates a curtain to Krishna consciousness. Big curtain. Okay, so the next obstacle, the third obstacle, is the killing of Shakatashura. You know that pastime, like in short I will tell. Shakatashura was killed on the birthday ceremony of Lord Krishna. He was hungry, he was kept under a cart, wooden cart, and then he actually touched that cart and it immediately went up in the sky and crashed on the ground. That happened. Everybody was actually surprised. Now the kids were telling that actually it was done by Krishna, because otherwise how a cart on its own will go fly in the sky and then come down and without harming Krishna. Even though it was supposed to actually fall upon him, I didn't do anything. No scratch was done on Krishna's body or anything. So the kids were telling that, but nobody believed. Actually, Krishna kids are actually making up some stories. They were believing that, but they were very strong. The kids were like telling, like, no, this is what we saw, and it is truth. But they were not so much convinced. The older people. So now this Shakatashura represents the propensity of our inclination towards the rituals, the regulative, so social customs, the regulations we perform in our day-to-day life. We are too much attached to that. And Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned it as niyamagraha. Niyama agraha means like you are inclined to the regulations. Yeah, there are two meanings of it, but in this case it should be niyama agraha. You are inclined to the niyams, but you are not inclined to the goal of those regulations. What is the goal of those regulations? The goal of these regulations is to understand Krishna and establish a relationship with him. That Athabumbi Dijasrashta Varnashram Vivagasha Sha Anushchitasya Dharmasya Samsitir Haritoshanam. You are performing this Varnashram system, or the actions based on the regulations of the society or social norms, is to satisfy Krishna. If that is not done, if that is not performed, this is only sroma eva kevalam, nothing but mere laborious work, mere industry. It doesn't give you any return, anything you cannot derive from it. So that is one thing. Another thing is actually spoken by I think it was spoken by Narad Muni to Vasudev, Krishna's father, that this Mukho Bahuru Padebhyo Purushashramaishaha Chattar Jogire Varna Gunir Vipradaya Pratha. These four orders of the society, they are created as like the Mukha is like the Brahmanas represent the mouth of the Lord. Bahu, the arms and the chest are represented by the Kshatriyas. Uru, the thighs are represented by the Vaishyas, and Padebhya, the legs are representation of the Shudras. And among them, the Vipras, they are the topmost class. They actually guide all the people in the society. Now he is telling, Ya yesa sakshat atma prabhavi vishwara bhajanta vajananti astanat bhashta patandada. Even if you perform actions, but you don't know that you are performing is to the satisfy Lord. Sakshat prabhavu atma ishwara. He is the Lord of all the things you are doing. Then even though you are performing this, you will fall down from your position. And in many cases, we saw that in Bhagavatam story also, that somebody is very good king, but they, like King Puranjana, we saw that that allegorical story narrated by Narad Muni to King Prachina Parishad. There he was mentioning that Puranjana was doing activities based on the Shastra. Oh, you have to do sacrifice, this like robotic. But no spiritual realization, no spiritual elevation. Rather, he was eaten by the Kal, the time. That Kal Kanya, those things, was introduced later in that story. So this is the nature. So if you are not inclined to perform your duties or regulative principles to satisfy Krishna, that will cause you bondage, and you won't be able to get rid of those situations, and you'll be more entangled, and you will be roaming around with birth, old age, death, and disease. That the cycle. There is no uh, uh, way to get rid of that situations. So this is that this representatives of Shakatashura, which holds us. It's not that we, as we are performing devotional service, we should take out like leave all the sanskaras. That is not recommended. Especially the Vaishnavas, they don't consider them Vaishnavas. They consider that we are Vaishnava, Pray or Vaishnava Tara. Oh, sorry, Vaishnava. When we are trying to be Vaishnavas, that's why we have to maintain our social etiquette, and also we perform pure devotional service. But we will not be attached to that social etiquette thing. Some people are very attached that you have to do it by hook or crook, by any means. So that is not the Vaishnava principles. So Vaishnavas do that. We saw in the pastimes even of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He went to Gaya Dham to do the Pinda ceremony, the oblation for his forefathers, for his father. But it was this external reason. He went there actually to meet Ishwarapuri and get initiation from him. But externally he showed that he was not like a irresponsible person. So we should not be also irresponsible. It doesn't mean that regulative principles are kind of Anartha, we will get rid of it. No, you should perform it, but in a way that you are not attached to it, and it is to be it should not create any hindrance for your devotional service. That those are the two things you have to consider. Then fourth obstacle is, what is that? Vatsasura, killing of Vatsasura. If you know the pastimes, Vatsasura, he came in the disguise of calf, right? And he mixed in the, Krishna was herding the calves at that time because he was very young. And then Krishna, he could identify, and he told it to Balaram also, hey, one calf, demon calf actually entered into our herd. So let's, take care of it. And Krishna took the, two hind legs of that calf, and he just whirled it around his head and threw it on top of a tree. And that's how it left his body. Left his body, the demon. And everybody was clapping. All the Krishna's friends, they were enjoying these things. So this killing of Vatsasura can be considered as the problems of young juvenile life. And what is the young juvenile life's problem? Baladosh. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur terms it as Baladosh. Young juvenile problem is that when somebody who is more wise than you tell you something to do, you feel, no, I don't enjoy that. I enjoy these things, frolic activities, sports, these things. Excuse me. And you give that, if I study so much, when you give arguments like you study so much, then I will lose my like youth in activities which are not enjoyable. True to say, like in the youth age, especially the brahmacharis, they are supposed to live a very strict life, right? The brahmachari is their life is very, very austere, true to say. But when somebody lives in that lifestyle, they can learn the devotional practices, or they can shape their future life very nicely. They can be happy with minimum of requirements, and they can perform austerities very easily. That's why Srila Prahlad Maharaj says, right? Kaumarat asharat pragya dharman bhagavatan iha durlabha manasya janma tadapya adhruva arthadam. You should perform, because this human life is very rare. So you should act based on the higher principle, and you should start it from very early age. Kaumara means actually 0 to 5 is Kumar. then Poganda, then Koishara, these things come. 6 to 10 is Poganda. So he is telling like you should start it early age, and that's why in Mayapur Gurukul they recruit kids like around age of 5. That means that the very earliest they start doing those austerities. But our mind, like at the young age, our mind doesn't want to follow all the instructions, all the regulations strictly, which are conducive for our future life. So that's why there can be an obstruction. Similarly, in our life, like the devotees who are practicing, we can be interested in many frolic activities, like watching cricket match, soccer match, then San Francisco what Giants or Jets what Jets Giants, Golden Gate Warriors, yeah. Then watching some mundane songs, entertainment business, yeah, it's okay. Like we give excuses to ourselves. It's okay because we are doing so much devotional activities. Apart from that, sometimes it's needed, socialization. Sometimes it's needed. Otherwise, we will be unsocial. We will be out of our group. So these things we give excuses to us. But sometimes we can be attached so much that we will leave our original occupation, which is pure devotional service, and take more interest in them. Because Shango Deshe Loha Bhashe, the even iron floats if it is association of those kind of similar kind of people. Like if you associate with people who are more inclined to material enjoyment, somehow or other you will be attracted to those enjoyments because we are not so advanced. So this is the anartha represented in the teachings of killing of Vatsasura. Okay, so that was fourth obstacle. Yeah, and these are actually also root cause of greed and sinful activities. These activities, when you associate with these worldly minded people, their lifestyle, their life goal will attract you. You will be greedy to achieve more opulences or more success, more fame in their life. And you will also be envious, and you will commit sinful activities in the long term. Like for regulative principles will be compromised. Anyway, the fifth obstacle is Bakasura. You know the pastimes of Bakasura, right? Bakasura is the was one of the brothers, I think, of Putana. That's why Putana was called Baki, the sister of Bakasura. So Bakasura, he actually appeared like a heron, big heron. He had like big red eyes. His breath was like kind of fuming. So he was very angry, and he attacked Krishna while he was playing with his friends, and Krishna killed him, by bifurcating his wicks. Very nice pastime that happened in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, narrated there in details. So Bakasura, it represents the cheating religion. And it is also called that this Bakasura's pastime or this cheating religion is the root cause of nama aparadha. You are committing different types of 10 types of offenses to the holy name, but the root cause is this cheating religion. Anyway, so those people who do not understand what is their qualification, and the instruction from a bogus guru to perform very advanced devotional service, they actually are they fall prey to the process of cheating religion. Means like they are pretending something what they are not in actuality. So these Bakasura pastimes representing that particular issue. And here, these people who are actually not advanced but practicing the advanced process of devotional service, they are doing it because they want some external things, which is love, puja, pratishtha. They want some material gains, some worship, some fame. Those things they want through their activities. Because if you can pose yourself as very advanced devotee in the society, then the people people are like the simple-hearted people, they will be attracted to you. Oh, he is so advanced, he's talking so advanced things, he's performing so advanced actions like nirjan bhajan or deity worship or in a very secluded place, or very something, to display others, but you don't have that adhikar. That's why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his song, that song called Dalaler Git. Dalaler Git, there are many Dalaler Git. One of them is that Boro Shukher Khobor Gai, Boro Mojar Kotha Tai, Nodia Godrume Ek Namer Hat Khulese, right? That song about glorifying Lord Nityananda. There it says, অধিকারী দেখে নাম দিচ্ছে দর কষি। হ্যাঁ, যদি নাম কিনবে ভাই, অধিকারী দেখে নাম দিচ্ছে দর কষি। If you want to buy the name from the marketplace of holy name, Lord Nityananda is selling that holy name by or giving that holy name to someone based on their adhikar, based on their right, based on their position in devotional service. Now if somebody is telling no, I am very advanced, give me like very advanced level of realization of holy name, that doesn't work. Yeah, they can get some mercy from the pure devotee or the Lord in course of time, but it's not like a ready-made. It's ready-made that, oh, I will externally or artificially pose that I am advanced and I will do activities or do my sadhana by posing in that manner. It doesn't work in that way. So this is the problem of the cheating religion. The people, they want to pretend what they are not, and they want to show people that they are very advanced, and they fall prey into this thing and fall down from their original process of devotional practices. Gradually they will just completely fall down, and eventually they will devoid of that gradual development of Krishna consciousness. So these are also, Lord Chaitanya mentions it as the weights. So that is another problem. Oh, another thing is very important here. Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions that these people don't know how to discriminate. They don't know how to behave with people. They have a gross discrimination rather than subtle discrimination. So that is another problem. Actually, yeah, it is also mentioned in another pastimes also, that gross and subtle discrimination. I will touch in that part mainly. Okay, yeah. Here it is said that those who respect this kind of people, who are cheaters, they also cannot get pure devotional service. Even though their heart is simple, they are actually giving the respect out of simple heart, or out of respect to the person who is somehow or other following or posing that he is following devotional path. So these people, those who are respecting these people, they also don't get any benefit out of it, because they don't have that subtle discriminative power. The gross discrimination is not encouraged in Vaishnava, among the Vaishnavas. Means like you are discriminating people based on caste, creed, religion, those things, their ethnicity. But subtle discrimination is very important, especially for the sadhaka bhakta, because they are aspiring for madhyama adhikari level. That's why madhyama adhikari, their qualities is ishvare tadadineshu balisheshu dishasya cha prema maitri kripa apaksha yat karati samadhyama. Ishvara is prema. You want to establish loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. Tad adineshu, maitri, like the devotees, you want to establish friendship with the devotees. Balisheshu, balish means like those who are offenseless. You want to give kripa, mercy to those people. And dishwa, these people who are envious, you want to avoid them. So this is the subtle discrimination. It's not based on caste, creed, religion, those things. So this is very important for a sadhaka. So those people who don't have any understanding of this, and they are respecting the cheating gurus or cheating people like pretenders as very topmost Vaishnavas and follow them, they will also fall down from their position. Okay, so the sixth obstacle is Aghasura, which is the personification of intolerance, cruelty, and violence. Aghasura was a snake form. He was in a snake form. It's a very big python, and he wanted to devour all Krishna's friends and the cows. They all went inside his mouth, and then he was waiting to Krishna to come inside. And then when Krishna went inside, he closed his mouth and he wanted to devour. So he was very envious, very cruel, because he did not even discriminate who are one. Like he even wanted to annihilate all Krishna's friends and the cows and calves, everything. So this kind of thing is also forbidden, because if you're not compassionate to the living entities, you cannot have compassion or you cannot have love for Krishna. Because Krishna says that all these living entities are my parts and parcel. Yeah, at a very conditioned stage, it's very difficult to see everything in relationship with Krishna. It's not possible. That Vaikuntha Darshan, it doesn't come. Vaikuntha Darshan means like you see everything in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you see that they have a relationship with the Lord. Like some are serving Krishna's internal energy, some are serving external energy, but they are in relation with Krishna. That you see. That Vaikuntha Darshan doesn't come when somebody has envious nature to the living entities. It's impossible. So the basis of compassion for the living entities and the devotion to Krishna are almost in the same platform. True to say, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this. So you should not actually discriminate when you have like very. That's why we see that our acharyas, they're so compassionate, right? All the senior Vaishnavas, they're so compassionate. That's why they take so much toll on their body, the time. They give so much time. They take so much effort to give this knowledge to each and everyone, because they feel the compassion. They are like doctors. They are like doctors who এনেছি ওষুধের মায়া ঔষধি মায়া নাসিবার লাগি হরিনা মহামন্ত্র লও তুমি মাগে. Lord Chaitanya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, right, in Lord Chaitanya's Jeev Jago songs, that he brought the medicinal herb which cures our disease of material hankering, material inclinations. So similarly, these people, they are being compassionate, these acharyas being compassionate, they go door to door and give this knowledge to Krishna, and that is real compassion. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada told, if I had the chance, I would have established many temples instead of hospitals. Because the hospitals, they only cure the body, but the temples, they cure the whole existence, material existence, and somebody can go to a spiritual world. And then he goes one level further. One person, I think he is one of the pioneers who worked with the British government to establish that BHU, Varanasi Hindi University, right? Madan Mohan Malabdya, I forgot exactly what his name, something Madan Mohan Malabdya, something his name. He was very famous, scholar at that time. So he had a conversation with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he was praising him. He was saying, like, you have done so much. You have established 15 matas, temples all over the India. So successful in your preaching mission. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was telling, no, I am not that successful. Wish I could establish 50 temples in the heart of Gaudiya Math followers. That would have been real success. Wish. So you see that the verse we read in Yudhishthir Maharaj first time with Vidura, when Vidura came from the pilgrimage, he was addressing him, right? Bhavad Vida Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhutani Sayang Vibhu Tirtha Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastana Gadavrita. You are the holy place personified. Why you do have to go to any holy place? Holy place will get purified by your association, like that. And there is a same kind of pastime is there in Nanda Maharaj also, right? He wanted to go to Prayag, and Lord Krishna, he told not to go there. Anyways, so similarly, our acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, he came to Western countries and you made these places at Tirtha, and whenever Srila Prabhupada's Vigraha is there, that place is a Tirtha. When we worship Srila Prabhupada, that place is a Tirtha, because that personification of Tirtha is present there. We don't have to go like the Tirtha, like we should not I'm not telling that we should not go to holy places, we should, but I'm telling like we should not be like feeling that much separation as long as we are in association of acharyas like Srila Prabhupada. Anyway, so this is the point, like we need to be compassionate to the living entities, and we should be tolerant. We should not do any cruelty and violence, because these are really bad. That's why even the devotees, even that is conflict, the conflict also should be mitigated in a peaceful manner. Many times devotees have conflicts, right? in a Brahminical way. The Brahmanas, they actually don't like fight to resolve any issues. Fight means like, with weapons or hand. Rather, they sit together and discusses about it. When discussion happens with the intelligent class of people, the best solution can come up. So this is one obstacle, sixth one. And then seventh one is the Brahma Bimahan Leela. Okay, so we have time. Brahma Bimahan Leela, you know that Lord Brahma, he is the chief architect of this universe, right? And he doesn't have only one head, he has four heads. Our Lord Brahma has four heads. So you can understand how much intelligence he has. We sometimes praise that, some people say that Einstein's brain is actually still preserved to see what is there in his brain. I don't know about that. I cannot give any reference, but I heard of it. And they found that his size of his brain is actually bigger than normal people's brain's size. So maybe that is one of the reasons why he was so successful as a scientist. So Lord Brahma has four heads, so you can understand how much brain power he has, right? But still he got bewildered because he wanted to understand Lord Krishna's pastimes with his mundane intelligence. So this is the anartha, where you are proud of your knowledge about Shastras and you misinterpret the actual meaning of Krishna's Leelas, and you don't get the actual understanding of like actual result of studying those Shastras by misinterpreting the Leelas of Krishna, or misinterpreting the Leelas of Vaishnavas or activities of Vaishnavas. It's very dangerous. So Lord Brahma committed that offense to Krishna, right? He took away the children, the cowherd friends and the cows for 1 year. And it took 1 year because his time zone and our time zone are different. And Krishna was bereft of the association of his friends at that time, because he couldn't understand how Krishna can behave with his friends in such an intimate manner. So that's a detailed pastime. I don't want to go into that. But the point is, he was proud of his understanding based on the scripture. The scripture says Lord should be worshipped in that manner with Purusha Shukta, hymns, with all paraphernalia, with proper etiquette, everything. Like in Bhagavatam also we see that in many chapters, like second, third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto, sixth canto, many places where Lord is worshipped with opulence, Aishwarya. But Brajadam is not a place of Aishwarya, opulence. It's a place of sweetness. All Aishwaryas are there. It's not that Brajadam is, Vrindavan is less of an opulent place, but that is completely covered, the opulence part of it. Rather, it is full of sweetness. So he couldn't understand that thing. And that's why it is said that Lord Brahma also doesn't get that mercy of Brahma Durlabha Prem Shabakara Jache. Lord Nityananda is giving that love of Godhead, which is very difficult to be achieved by Lord Brahma. So Lord Chaitanya's mercy upon us is unfathomable. So when he actually committed this offense, this is the problem when we study many scriptures. This offense is equivalent to that thing. So when we study too many scriptures, we get bewildered. The conclusion is missing. I know one devotee was sharing his study of Srila Prabhupada's scriptures with me, like how he is studying. So he told that he wanted to study other Acharya's scripture also. But his Guru Maharaj told, first you finish 3 times Srila Prabhupada's all the books, then you have to other Acharya's books. And this is perfect. When we are aligned with Srila Prabhupada, complete alignment may not be possible, but whatever we can do from our side, and then we approach other acharyas, then with Prabhupada's mercy, we can get some understanding of their teachings as well. But if we just jump all the immediate acharyas and go to Srila Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, very difficult, very difficult. You get bewildered. That's why some of the scriptures even forbidden for us. One time, one devotee was asking that Srila Bhakti Rakshak Dev Goswami Maharaj, that you are there are so many scriptures are forbidden, but the Babaji Sampradayas, they are very inclined to study those scriptures in Vrindavan. So what is your take on that, like what is there in those scriptures. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he forbade us to not to go into those scriptures. And he replied very nicely. He told, I don't know, because I never studied those scriptures. I don't know it. Can you believe, like, somebody of his stature, he said that I have I have never read like Ujjwala Nilamani or other scriptures, Krishna Karnamrita, what is that other, Lalita Madhav, Bidagda Madhav, these scriptures I never read. It's and we jump where angels fear to tread, the fools rush into that. We sometimes find a nice translation and study those scriptures. So this can be bewildering. Bahu shastra pathabhas nishiddho. It is forbidden to study too many scriptures. If you read commentaries on Bhagavatam by other acharyas from other school of Vaishnava thoughts, you may get bewildered, because their presentation may be a little different from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's presentation. Like we see Mahaprabhu when he dealt with that Tattvadi Vaishnavas, Madhacharya Sampradaya, when he asked that what is the absolute truth, or what is the how should you approach the absolute truth, or something like that, like what is the actual path to progress in the devotional path. So they actually told, no, it's the following of the Varnashrama system. And Mahaprabhu immediately described replied that, yeah, Varnashrama is the first thing which is rejected by Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma Bhajita Kaita Bhatra. And you are telling that is the path of getting the highest perfection in life. So it doesn't go hand in hand. So that's why if you study too much, you can get bewildered, especially if you're not studying under the auspice of a very advanced Vaishnava. So that's why this is forbidden to study too many scriptures, especially those which are forbidden, like Sharirika Bhashya. If you read and study Sharirika Bhashya, you will be convinced that impersonal philosophy is the highest philosophy. That's so convincing. We are not Jiva Goswami. He studied it to counter-argue their philosophy, right? We are not even Madhacharya, who actually, out and out rejected it. For, Dvaita too. There is no oneness too. Always. So this thing is not possible for a conditioned soul. Only the empowered souls, sent by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they can approach these scriptures and resolve it for all of us who are conditioned by nature. Okay, and another thing, if you study Vedas, you may think like, dharma, artha, kam, moksha is the goal of life. You will do dharma, you will just do some enjoyment. Vedavadarata, right? Lord Krishna condemned that, don't be like those. They will be just bhogvaishwarya prasaktanam. They just get inclined to enjoyment in different ways by studying the Vedas, because Veda, it gives you a lot of option to enjoy the material world. But that's not our goal. That's only dealing with the three modes of material nature. We should actually transcend this three modes of material nature. Okay, so maybe I will just do one thing, or maybe the last one. This is the pastimes of Dhenukasura, and then we can take some feedback. So Dhenukasura is an ass demon, right? And he was the protector of the Talaban forest of palm fruit of Kamsa. And he was protecting that, and nice liquor was prepared by those palm fruit juices, and it was delivered to Kamsa. Even the demigods, they were hankering to get those palm fruit juice. So powerful. But this Dhenukasura, as demon, he never enjoyed it himself. Just like Muras, Muras in the material world. They work day and night, but no result. Srila Prabhupada told in one of the Srimad Bhagavatam purports, which is one of my very favorite purports, because I can correlate with myself in that purport. He says, Shaviro Barha Ostrukkharai Sanstute Purusha Pashu Na Yat Karna Patho Petu Jatu Nama Gadagraja. Those people who are like Shavir Bir Baraha means like stool eating Baraha means hog. Ustro, oot, camels, Karo, ass, and Shaw means dogs. They don't get any attraction to the words of Krishna's glories, because these dogs, They are Prabhu Bhakta. They are subservient to their family members, their occupation, everything. Right? What you say, my master? They're like that. Bir Baraho, they get enjoyment in stool. That's their highest enjoyment. Ustro, they eat, this thorny lips, and then the mouth get pricked by the thorns, and it extracts some blood, and then blood mixed with that thorny, vegetables or whatever plants they eat. It takes a very, nice salty taste. And they, oh, we are enjoying a lot of enjoyment. And this kharo, as what it does, all day it works for nothing. For nothing, because what he is destined to get, or what he wants to live or subsist, that is available in the nature. He doesn't have to work for that. Like, there is a saying that, Gadhar, Dhopar Gadha, the donkey of a washerman. So the Dhopa, it actually hangs a carrot or something, a fruits in front of the ass, and the ass just follows that. I will, if I go a little bit further, I will get it. I'll get it. It keeps going like that. So this is the material world as like mentality. Yeah. So these mudhas, these mudha people, like our Dhenukasura, our beloved Vrindavan Dhenukasura, they are also like that. They feel like, okay, I have so much activities to do. I have so much responsibilities to perform, these and that, and then I will be, successful. But that success never comes. Another thing is that they do gross discrimination, which I was talking about. They discriminate people based on their caste, creed, religion. They don't have any subtle discrimination, which is a alankar, which is a garland for the devotees. They know how to deal with people of different stature. And yeah, and also they have no inclination to study shastra, get into devotional service, even though sometimes they read it, but they cannot get through it because their consciousness is so low. Sometimes even you see that, people who are completely materialistic, they also study somehow or other, maybe philosophically they want to incline to study Bhagavad Gita, but they cannot understand the mood of acharyas, that ultimate goal of life is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That they don't understand. So they still remain in the stage of that as like mentality, where dehapatya kalatra adeshu atma shanyasya asatsapi tesham brahmatva nidhanam pasyanapi na pashyati. They are only engaged with deha, body, wife, children, family members, family duties. They don't have time to see what is the supreme goal of life. Apashyatam atmatattam griheshu grihamedinam. They are just they're just engaged in worldly duties. So I can stop here. If anybody has any comment before we go to the next stage, if we have some time, any comment, any feedback, any chastisement, please feel free to share.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Kotakarna Prabhuji, Akshay Prabhuji.
Very nice class, Prabhu. Thank you so much. I really liked how you connected with the previous session. There were four different anarthas that you explained, 4 different categories. Prabhu, in Putana's case, you said she represents the anartha of false guru. In case of Trinavarta, it's false arguments. So, what is the difference between those two?
Okay, very good point. Very good point. So false argument, false logic means you are trying to establish whatever you understand on top of what acharyas have said. Means like, oh, even if you're not taking care of your worldly life, how can you approach even devotional service? Something like that. Like, if you're not successful in your worldly life, if you're not successful in your family life, in your social life, in your career, then you cannot take your devotional life. Something like that. It's completely like, it has nothing to do with your, like, it's not a, like, because devotional service is beyond this, these things. I'm not telling that you should be impractical. You should be practical, because devotees are successful in true sense in every aspect. But my point is, this should not be an argument to reject devotional service. False arguments to bypass the path of devotional service, or to bypass the devotees argument, like they are approaching you, oh, take Bhagavatam, like you go to book distribution, right? No, we have already everything. No, we are not, we don't believe it, because we have so many things to do, we have so many places to go, so we don't have actually time to study Bhagavatam or these things. So these are like false arguments. It's about priority, right? It's not about you don't have time. You have time for doing everything nonsense, but you don't have time for studying Bhagavatam. That means it's a false argument. So these are the mood of the people of the mundane world, where they emphasize what is should not be emphasized. If you know that like we have to die, and only this path of devotional service will take us to the higher platform, engage us in Krishna service, then we'll that Srila Prabhupada gave the example, right? We have to work in such a way that our house has got the fire. Then we'll leave everything else, and we'll try to extinguish the fire. That urgency will come to you. So the devotees, they should also try to bring that urgency. And many devotees, those who are advanced, they feel it, and they mold their life in such a way that they can engage most time in devotional activities, or most energy in devotional activities. But those false argument people, they'll say, no, my age has not come. I will give you an example. I was traveling with one of very senior citizens, my friend's in-laws. I was giving them a ride because my friend, she delivered a baby. Then they are telling, he was recounting a story, because he know that I am following a devotional service a little bit fanatical. He considers me a little bit fanatical. So he was telling me that one day one person came to his office when he was working. Now he is a retired person, and he was telling a lot of glories about his religion. And then sometime after, and he was posing like a very religious person by outwardly, he has like that kind of get up. Now after some time, he discovered that person became a terrorist. So he is telling that that person was young, at a young age he has started following so diligently devotional service. So this is not proper. This is a false argument. In one place, Prahlad Maharaj is telling, Kumara Achara Pragya, you should act wisely from the very beginning of life. And this person is telling, no, if you do that, you become a terrorist, and you can go, hell. Your situation can, go down. Right now, you're focused to the family, job, this thing, that, as if that I know how much I will live, how much I have life to spend, and how much I will be, healthy in future. So anyways, so this kind of arguments people give to get rid of, the path of devotional service, something like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I also like that point where you said in Brahma Vimohan Leela, he knew so many Vedas, but he did not know the mode of Vrindavan. So even when we try to jump over the acharyas, try to understand other acharyas' commentaries before even understanding what Srila Prabhupada has said. So it is the same mood. We won't be able to understand it. We won't be able to understand it really, the mood of Vrindavan. And I like that word, that proverb you said, fools rush where angels fear to tread. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you, Kotkana Prabhu. You're so attentive listener. In fact, I get so much inspiration from you. Hare Krishna, Shamalangi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam. I was, Prabhu, last time also I listened, today also I listened, but today, I had some questions I thought I'll just ask you right now. So in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, he brings down the pride of so many, of course, there are devotees later, like Prakashananda Saraswati. Then we have the Keshav Kashmiri Pandit, and then of course Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, like you said. And also about Tapan Mishra, they said he used to read a lot of books. So, he still didn't know the straight path, what is the right path. So Mahaprabhu, explains to him. So all these, they had pride, they had this Anartha, and, eventually they became devotee due to Mahaprabhu's mercy. But I wanted to ask about Sri Vallabha, why didn't he get the whole mercy of Mahaprabhu? I know he criticized Sridhar Swami's writings, but is there anything else to that other than, because he did not get it. He did not get his mercy. So I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, it's a very difficult pastimes, Mataji. Mataji. In fact, in that pastime, Vallabhattu was telling that you're like swans and I'm like crow among the swans. He felt like that when he saw the effulgence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, and he felt like my all knowledge, my all pandita scholarship that went in vain. Actually, I heard like some Gaudiya acharyas, they said like Balabhatta actually got mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. That's why he took initiation from Gadadhar Pandit. Actually, it belonged to our sampradaya. Even though his son Vittalnathji, they established that no, we still belong to Rudra Sampradaya and they follow a different mood. But Balabhatta had a very close relationship with Srila Rupa Goswami. You know that past time, right? When Rupa Goswami book he was reading, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he was kind of proofreader was Srila Jiva Goswami, but he was the first reader, like as a reader. And Rupa Goswami very humbly asked to give him feedback. And he's telling that, oh, you have read like Mukti, Spriha, Pishachavad. Hey, Mukti cannot be Pishach because this is Lord's energy, Lord's special mercy. So how can it be like a ghost? Then Jiva Goswami he counter argued that he's telling that the propensity to get mukti. Anyway, so my understanding is Mataji Ballabhata also got mercy.
Okay, Prabhu, then I just read whatever in Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? I could not get any more to it. Okay.
Yeah, that's the point, my understanding. And also Lord Chaitanya, what happened, what I understood from that pastime, that Lord Chaitanya never considered him as his Nijajana. So there are two different subtle things. Nijajana means Lord Chaitanya exhibited his very internal modes in front of his Nijajanas, like very close devotees, like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, especially Sarup Damodar and Ramaranda Rai. He exhibited all his emotions. That he did not do with Balabhatta. When they were crossing the Ganges in Varanasi, Kasi, Lord Chaitanya suddenly had that emotional, mode, like ecstasy. But he's subdued by looking at Balabhatta that he is an external person. He would understand it. So that I know that he did not reveal himself completely. Also, I see sometimes that Gadadhar Pandit, he felt like he gave the mantra to someone who is not eligible. That's why the power of his mantra has diminished. And he wanted to retake the mantra from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Mahaprabhu told, no, wait, Pundarik Bhadanidhi is coming. You can get mantra again from him. So some acharyas say that this is because he gave to Ballabhatta, who did not have 100% faith in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is another interpretation I heard, but it's difficult. I know that he's a very advanced acharya. It's not that, I don't know, maybe he is not in completely mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Gaudiya Vaishnavas, but definitely he on his own qualities is an advanced acharya. Thank you, Mataji. But another thing, Mataji, even though Prakashananda Saraswati got mercy, there are different level of mercy.
Yeah.
Like Lord Chaitanya's mercy, he just gave him that, the fundamental philosophy, which is philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, that Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. We have a relationship with him and we are supposed to serve in that relationship. That is the philosophy he gave. He did not give the intricate philosophy which he gave to Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami.
Yeah.
Right, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we read that so detail about the bhakti process. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji is like a storehouse of Chaitanya Leela. I get so much inspiration, and it's amazing, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Joy.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, thank you so much for the wonderful class and the Anartha that you covered, through Lord's Leela. I had one question. In Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that when we are in Kali Yuga, there is one guna, right? There is one good quality. Of course, Sankirtan is there, and but also Bhagavatam mentions that anything thought mentally to be done good is actually considered as done, right, in Kali Yuga, right? That is what is mentioned. And also Kali Dosho, that is another for the Sankirtan. My question is that what about the bad things, anarthas, mentally done? So, because the Bhagavatam mentions about if anything good is done, that is considered done. So what about the anarthas? What happens to that?
Yeah, so you won't. So thank you, Mataji, for asking that question. So our main other anarthas can be categorized in Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moho, Mod, Matshari, right? Lust, greed, envy, anger, illusion, and pride. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, envy. Yeah, I think I covered all 6. Anyways, so these subtle form of anarthas, like the all the anarthas are expansion of these anarthas in different forms. Subtle, subtler, more subtle, gross. Expansion of this, like gross, we try to avoid completely, by 4 regulative principles. But the subtle form of anarthas is still there, and that is more detrimental, especially if somebody is approaching, pure devotional service. So the scene you won't get, Mataji, by thinking, because in purport I can recall in the pastimes of Parikshit Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada actually mentions that Parikshit Maharaj allowed Kali to enter because he knew the glories of Kali Yuga. Even the Kali Doshini there, Rajan, so many obstacles are there, but this one quality that by Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Brajat, you can go to the Brajadham by only doing Kirtan. And second thing, you just think about good qualities, good things, you will get the credit, or good activities. But if you think about the bad, but that was not the case in Satyuga. Opposite. You are thinking good will not give you any credit, but thinking bad will give you sins. So you go on get sins. So anartha, I won't say that anarthas are only sins. Sin is one of them, but anarthas are not only sins. Anarthas are the misconceptions, the obstacles which hinders one sadhaka to enter into the pure devotional mood. Or you can say that from the anartha nivritti stage to nishtha stage. Nishtha is like somebody is very steady. There is no, cringe, no gap in his devotional practices. So again, that the point is no sins, as far as I understand, Mataji, while you are thinking of bad activities. But of course, there will be impression, right? You are feeding those thoughts. So eventually, it can make you fall from your progress. And Maharaj Bashiraka Prabhuji also today was telling again, right, that where attention grows, energy flows, and attention means your mind. When your mind goes, your energy will be roaming around that place. So if something is not conducive for devotional service, eventually it will make you fall down or go in a different direction. That's my understanding. But I think there are senior devotees. Shamra Prabhu is here, Nandavika Mataji, Shamalingi Mataji. They can also add if they want here. And you are also yourself, Mataji, I think.
No, actually, we generally focus on because Bhagavatam says doing mentally, or of course, how much focusing on the holy name, right? I mean, we never. But somebody asked me this question, and I didn't know. So I was wondering. I mean, of course, as a devotees, we generally focus on holy name, and we think that Kali Yuga, the holy name is the benediction, right? Just by chanting, we can actually get the mercy of the Lord, and by holy name. Yeah. So, but thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for clarifying. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Bol, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Shamra Prabhuji.
Thank you for the wonderful lecture. I like the example of the Dhenukasura, where you mentioned that people are really working hard. So this is a tendency, especially in this modern age. Probably it has been always there, to work so hard as a responsibility and this and that, and it's very difficult to actually get rid of that. We are so much sucked into this, and that's very sucking energy, in the sense we literally get absorbed, how we should be absorbed in chanting, but we get absorbed that kind in our work and so many other so-called responsibilities, that even while chanting, that crowds our thoughts. So how to how to really transform this this so much addictive energy? It's like a sticky thing that doesn't go, and how to also inspire those who are very much into that. Most of the people actually into that.
Maybe 1% we are out, but
Yeah.
so, yeah, if you can share some tips how to.
Thank you, Prabhu. First of all, I'm also seeking this answer, how to minimize this urge. But I can take shelter of, Vaishika Maharaja's teachings and, Srila Prabhupada's and Bhagavatam. So I think in last Sunday also, Vaishika Maharaj was mentioning that, right? You also had kind of similar question where he was telling that you saw that young kids, they're engaging so much energy, but we don't have that much energy, and we came into Krishna consciousness little late. So how we can? And he gave an excellent answer. In fact, I was discussing with one of my friends. I told him to watch that lecture one more time. It's so practical that you do small at a time and gradually progress, steady state. Go in a way that you should not like, oh, all of a sudden I left it. Then you will come back again because you are not satisfied. So that is a very practical. And Lord Krishna also instructs in Srimad Bhagavatam in 11th canto Uddhav Gita, same thing. Tavat karmani kurbita na nirvidyata yavata mat katha shravana vidanu suddha javanna jayate. As long as somebody, by hearing about my glories, my activities, doesn't develop the faith, the strong faith unto me, he should continue doing what he's doing, or gradually he should come to that platform when he will stop these things. So that is my understanding also, Prabhu, that art, because in the very beginning of our life we are given that kind of thing, like, oh, you have to compete, we have to compete with people, and as we grow up, our competition horizon become bigger. Previously we were competing in the school, and then in the board level exam, right, like maybe few districts, then in the national level, because the job competition is in the national level, and in the international level, because now all the people from the globe, they are here, the best, and you are competing with them, and their mood, oh, we will do everything. Yeah, if you listen any of the CEO's quarterly meeting, you feel like, oh, you are doing such, yeah, and you have to do more. They are not satisfied. So this is the mood of passion, though. It's very difficult to get rid of the mood of passion, especially when we are living in a place which is dominated by mood of passion. But again, sthani sthita shruti gatam tanubang manovir, when you are engaging your mind, body, and words to hear the glories of the Supreme Lord, that can be a big relief, and that can help you to get rid of this attachment. I won't see that that is a shortcut way, but definitely that is a gradual way. As long as we are under the shelter of senior Vaishnavas and we listen to their lectures, their discourses, their advices, and we follow that, means like we try to implement to some extent whatever practical, because we cannot emulate, we cannot imitate them, but we can definitely follow them, that what they are saying, what they have done in their previous lives also. Because now we are at a stage where most of Srila Prabhupada's disciples are in retirement phase. So many of them have gone through the phase of what we are going through right now. So their wisdom can help us so that we don't have to learn by mistakes. We can learn from their experiences. So this is my understanding, Prabhu, but I think you are also aware what you need to do. Just you're asking for our clarification and our enlightenment. But if you want to add something, Prabhu, please feel free, Prabhu.
Prabhu, thank you very much for your answer. Perfect answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay. Anyone else has anything? Otherwise, we can discuss the 9th one. And I should go till 9:45, right? If I'm correct, Balaram. What is the schedule? 9:45 to 10 is the announcement, and then 10 onwards is Guru Puja. Balaram is there?
That's right, Kolodwip.
Okay, Mataji, yes. Okay, so the 9th, Anartha is the Anartha of the killing of Arishtasura or Vrishasura. Some people say like Vrishasura, bull demon, Arishtasura, beautiful name. So okay. So sometimes what happens, the sadhaka bhakta may be attracted to very advanced process, and he forsake the sadhana process completely. Rather, he gets attracted to. It's related to that cheating part also, but this is not for labha puja pratishtha. Rather, it's like, oh, I think like that is the better way, so I will take that path. So this anartha is this Arishtasura, killing of Arishtasura represents that anartha where you are forsaking the sadhana process, which is sadhu sangha, nama kirtan, bhagavad shravana, mathurava, srimurtira shraddha, like deity worship, listening Bhagavatam or studying Bhagavatam, going to the holy places, reciting the holy places, chanting the holy name. These are the like 5 main angas, bhakti angas, right? So you reject this. No, there is something maybe meditation, the remembering Krishna's pastimes, Leela in mind, very advanced stage, like Smarana Avastha, Nididhyasanam. Those things you concentrate on those and you forsake this process, which is not even done by the 6 Goswamis or any of our acharyas. Seva sadhaka rupeno siddharupena chatrohi tadbhava lipsuna karya brajaloka anusurat. They were acting, they are doing everything based on the sadhak. Like Sankha Purva, Nama Gativi, Nama Gativi. Anyways, they are chanting prescribed number of rounds, number of holy names. They are doing all their prescribed sadhana. And in the mind, they are living as a Brajavasi and serving Lord Krishna, Radha Krishna together. So that should be like a devotee's mood. When they should continue their service, sadhana is the service, and if they are advanced, those relationships will automatically revealed in their heart through Guru Krishna, whatever way. But these people, they forsake it artificially. They try to imitate the acharyas and they follow. So this propensity is also there. Sometimes you will see that somebody comes to one organization and they are not happy with that because they feel like, oh, this organization doesn't. I think Vaisheshika Maharaj was also giving this example in Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja. He was quoting someone, that one new generation devotee, was telling that ISKCON doesn't provide all the things we need, our Srila Prabhupada's teachings. We need to go some other organization to get everything we need for our devotional nourishment. So this is a false conception also, right? You are not satisfied with your whatever you have or your sadhana or sadhana process. Rather, you are looking for something higher, even though you may not be qualified for those things. So these anarthas are also killed by Krishna in the process of killing Arishtasura. Okay. Then the 10th anartha is the killing of Kaliya. And the Kaliya represent pride, deceit, and the propensity to harming others. Sometimes they can be subtle by our words. We can show our pride, our superiority, and belittle some other person. This is actually all coming from the source of these things. The subtle anarthas are actually envy. So these I am better than you, I am bigger than you, I am powerful than you, I am more authoritarian than you, or I am a bigger devotee than you. These kind of anarthas are killed by subduing the snake Kaliya in Krishna Leela. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells the Kaliya's malice always pollutes the pure love of Yamuna. So the malice of a pure devotee, it also pollutes the pure love or the pure devotion towards Krishna. If we can get rid of it, Kaliya's malice means Kaliya's poison, right? Kaliya was so envious, it used to vomit poison, and it kind of killed all the living entities of the Yamuna. It becomes so poisonous, the cows, whoever, all the living entities who are drinking the water, they are also getting killed. But Krishna actually really enlivened them in the past times. The point is, our this malice, envy towards other living entities also kills our bhakti towards Krishna, bhakti kripa, because it cannot grow together. Envy and pure devotion, it's opposite direction. They cannot go together. If one grows, the other goes down. So we should be very careful that how can we get rid of this envy, pride, malice to other living entities. So this is my presentation for today, because I think we don't have time for others. There are other 8 plus 2 from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So 10 are remaining, so we can discuss these things if we get a chance next time. So thank you everyone for attending today's session. If I have spoken something against the principle of our previous Acharya Srila Prabhupada, please forgive me. I take shelter unto all of your lotus feet. And now I will request if there is any announcement. I think Malini Mataji, Jai Madhav Prabhu, they are all already here. Or maybe Malini Mataji is not there. Jai Madhav Prabhu, I see you. So you have some announcement, Prabhuji? Oh, Pavani Bhakti Mataji is there. Hare Krishna Mataji. You are mute, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji had some other engagement to cater to, so I'm just talking on his behalf and behalf of Bhakti community. So Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and Hare Krishna, everyone. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I will give a quick update if somebody can make me be able to share the slides. Okay, Prabhuji. Bhakti community is so far doing well. We are getting the usual audience, and as usual, you all know Bhakti community is an online community where we are here to win people's heart, and therefore from the heart we want to capture their minds. So that's our mission. As part of Bhakti community, we are launching a new program, and this was requested by many of our devotees and also many of the newcomers who come to our programs. They started asking a lot of questions which are at the postgraduate level or even higher than that. We wanted to give them an opportunity to go to the next level, and therefore we are going to launch this new program on next week, Thursday from 5:30 p.m. It's called Bhakti Circle, Discover Yourself, and it will be a weekly meetup to develop spiritual friendship, harmonize body, mind, and spirit. So what this program will be all about, it is a little bit different from our other programs, but our mission and values remain the same. We promise that we will harmonize mind, body, and spirit. We want to focus on people's heart, and then mind will eventually follow. We want to provide a psychologically safe environment, develop deeper and caring spiritual relationships. At the same time, in this program particularly, we want to take the newcomers to the next level. We want to also show you that the format of this program is slightly different from the normal programs. We have it more like a breakout format, where we have various leads who lead the different breakout rooms. This program has been announced to our corporate audience, also to our existing Bhakti community audience. We are looking for new people who want to join and go to the next level. You can please refer to your friends, relatives, contacts, and we are happy to absorb them into the program. There is no limit of the number of people who can join, because we are going to break out the rooms, and then and we'll break people out with some thought-provoking questions, and then they'll come back to the main room, and all as holistically we'll discuss. So because it's a breakout session, we are hoping that this will develop more deeper relationship and more people can speak up rather than the usual ones who speak in the sessions. This is typically the format of the DYS course. This is 32 weeks program. These are all the topics that we are going to cover. And we are really looking forward to see if any of you are interested in being volunteers to this program. Please reach out to us at hi@bhakticommunity.com. We'll be happy to take your help and services. We are in serious needs of devotees who can help us to take our newcomers to the new level. So that's the announcement for the new program starting next week, Thursday. We want to share a few of the latest realizations from people. This was the latest program, one of the latest program where we wanted to share how people reacted, a little snippet from a newcomer devotee.
Who else has some thoughts about how to employ this, or any feedback at all that you want to give?
We have a couple of questions. Malati, I think, has her hands up.
Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to say that all these 4 questions are so beautiful, and I guess all of us are trying to work on this. And that's probably, I think these 4 questions actually answer your very first question, the one that you asked us, why are we here on a holiday? Maybe we are trying to find answers to these questions in our lives. And I like the 4th question a lot. And this is something even my husband keeps telling me when I complain to him about different things, like about family or job or something like that. And he asks me the same question. What is more important to me for my growth? And so I just wanted to thank you that, this was such a beautiful class.
Oh, thank you very much.
You
You made my whole holiday. That's why it's Memorial Day. We needed something to remember to take away from today, and I'm so happy that you found them useful. Great. Okay, go ahead, J.M.
We have Charles and Teresa also had their hands up. So you want to ask a question?
Sure, more of I think I likely to find myself asking all these questions. What is the lesson that one really stands out to me, and just the idea of life being a classroom. But to kind of go off the last idea that was just shared as well, I think asking any one of these questions, I think, will lead to me asking the others, right? If I'm asking, like, what is the lesson in this situation? Or, once I start asking that and realize, maybe my attention is placed on the negative versus the positive, that kind of leads to, like, okay, where am I investing my attention right now? And then maybe how can I be of service? So I feel like a lot of these are going to be linked. I do practice it a little more.
Nice observation. And I loved how you brought up.
Yeah, so those were a few newcomers I just wanted to share with you all. Also, I want to let you all know that Kolodwip Pran Prabhu and Krishna Prabhu and Akshay Prabhu and many devotees who are doing book distribution, they are really, really integrating the newcomers to this program and personally taking care of them. They're sharing, they're asking them to join the sessions on time. They're following up in the background, how you're doing, how did you like the sessions, and people really feel personally connected. And when we come to the programs, all the people, like the existing people plus the new people, they feel like very incorporated and very, a part of the whole thing. So thankful to all the devotees, and would request all new book distributors, existing book distributors, all devotees to encourage your friends to join these programs so that we can help all the newcomers to take them to the next level. Thank you. That was all the update. If there's anything anybody wants to add or questions, I'm happy to take them.
I just want to add, Mataji, that I also love the mindfulness sessions on Fridays. It's amazing realization. Personally, I see that bhakti is so practical. It's not like sectarian or for a particular group of people. And Bajraka Maharaj conducts this session. I really look forward to attend this. Thank you for organizing this program.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, did we make the Sankirtan announcement already? I don't know if I missed.
We can't hear you properly, Mataji. It seems like your voice is coming from far away, long distance.
Oh.
Now it is better.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now it is better.
Okay. So, did we already make Sankirtan announcements, Prabhu? Sorry, I was just stepped off.
No, Mataji. I couldn't find Malini Mataji. So, if you have something to announce, please go ahead. Mataji.
Yeah. So, I wanted to share. Malini just party today. MSF goals will be posted on the Weekend Warriors group today. So share that. And also I wanted to share that since holidays have started now, schools are over, the kids also are invited to join the garden party from 2 to 3. And am I audible?
Your voice is going up and down, Mataji. Some words are audible, some are
I think maybe my location some problem.
Yeah, maybe the microphone is directional microphone, so it's not capturing all the words. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm right next to the.
Now it is better, Mataji. Can you speak in that particular angle?
Okay. Hare Krishna,
again.
Can you hear me? Hare Krishna.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So the goals that we announced today by Malini is going to go on the Weekend Warriors group. Still not put up. Can you hear me now?
No, Mataji. We can hear you, but it is very faint.
Okay. This morning I was sitting here.
Yeah, it was good, Mataji. Now it is good.
Oh, is it good now?
Excellent, yeah.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. So goals will be announced for the Bhaktivinoda Thakur MSF today on the Weekend Warriors group. The devotees can check on that. And also we will have the regular Sankirtan, our calling party starting at 2 o'clock. And also for the kids and Kirtan, because the schools are over and the holidays have started, kids are invited to join the calling party from 2 to 3 because we have the youth jam. So 2 to 3 they can join and they can come up with their own contacts or we have some contacts that we can make the calls to. And we have a huge goal this year. Last year, at least by National Day, MSF, we had done 36 Bharatans, but this year we have only done Chaitanya Charitamrita so far. So we really need the help from all the kids and parents. And requesting younger kids to join along with the parents. So that's all. Thank you so much. I hope I was audible.
Thank you, Mataji. So I'll just reiterate what Mataji said. So the kids Sankirtan, it already started. So they started going out, and there is a massive goal. No, they started
online.
Online, sorry, online. And there is a massive goal for BBT MSF. So, and I think you are also incorporating Chaitanya Charitamrita in the distribution of BBT MSF, right? Something you mentioned there.
Chaitanya Charitamrita, no, so far we only did Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Okay.
And we need to do Bhagavatam now.
Sorry. So far only, yeah. Now I think everybody heard Mataji. Yeah. So far only only Chaitanya Charitamrita has been done, but Bhagavatam is also incorporated. And it will be published by tomorrow, right? That that goal?
Goals will be published today.
Today only. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna.
Any other announcements before we go for the Kirtan? Okay. So maybe we can do the Guru Puja. Balaram, should we go for the Guru Puja now? Okay. Anyways, I think Balaram is expecting that it is supposed to start at 10, but we can start for the sake of time. Nama Srishtam Manamapi Shachiputra Sarupam Shrerupam Tasya Grajamurupurim Mathurim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivar Maharadhika Madhavasam Praptyasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natasmi He Guru Gyanada Dina Bandhu Swananda Data Kurunaiku Sindhu Vrindavanasina Hitavatara Prasida Radha Pranaya Pracharo Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakate Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakate Sadma Mandamo Isabadhano Mate Mandamo Isabadhano Mate Mandamo Isabadhano Mate Mandamo Isabadhano Mate Jahar Prasade Bhai E Bhavatoriya Jai Jahar Prasade Bhai E Bhavatoriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jahar Hoite Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoite Guru Mukha Padma Bhako Chitete Koriya Bhako আর না করে হো মনে আশা, আর না করে হো মনে আশা, শ্রী গুরু চরণে রতে সেই উত্তম গতি, যে প্রসাদ পুরে সর্ব আশা, যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা। চক্ষু দান দিল যেই জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সেই, চক্ষু দান দিল যেই জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সেই, দিব্যজ্ঞান হৃদে প্রকাশিত, দিব্যজ্ঞান হৃদে প্রকাশিত, প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবেদা বিনাশ যাতে, প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবেদা বিনাশ যাতে, বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত, বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত, সে গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু, সে গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু, লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন, লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন। আহা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া, আহা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া, আহা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া, এবে যশ ঘোষক ত্রিভুবন, এবে যশ ঘোষক ত্রিভুবন, শিল প্রভুপাদ লইন শরণ, জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ, প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ, নিতাই গৌর হরি 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 বল, নিতাই গৌর হরি বল। নমঃ বিষ্ণুপদায় কৃষ্ণ প্রসায় ভূতলে, শ্রীমতে ভক্তি বেদান্ত স্বামী নিতি নামিনে, নমস্তে সরস্বতী দেবে গৌরবাণী প্রচারিণে, নির্বিশেষ শূন্যবাদী পাশ্চাত্য দেশ তারিণে, কলি কুকুর কদন যদি চাও হে, কলি কুকুর কদন যদি চাও হে, কলি যুগ পাবন কলি ভয় নাশন শিশতি নন্দন গাও হে, কলি যুগ পাবন কলি ভয় নাশন শিশতি নন্দন গাও হে, গদাধর মাদন নিতায়ের প্রাণ ধন অদ্বৈতের প্রপূজিত গৌরা, গদাধর মাদন নিতায়ের প্রাণ ধন অদ্বৈতের প্রপূজিত গৌরা, নিমায় বিশ্বভর শ্রীনিবাস ঈশ্বর ভক্ত সমূহ চিত্ত চোরা, নিমায় বিশ্বভর শ্রীনিবাস ঈশ্বর ভক্ত সমূহ চিত্ত চোরা, নদিয়া শাসধর মায়াপুর ঈশ্বর আমপবর্তন সুর, নদিয়া শাসধর মায়াপুর ঈশ্বর নাম প্রবর্তন সুর, গৃহী জন শিক্ষক নাসিকুল নায়ক মাধব রাধা ভাবপুর, গৃহী জন শিক্ষক নাসিকুল নায়ক মাধব রাধা ভাবপুর, সার্বভৌম শোধন গজপতি তারণ রামানন্দ পোষণ বীর সার্বভৌম সাধন গজপতি তারণ রামানন্দ পোষণ বীর রূপানন্দ বর্ধন সনাতন পালন হরিদাস মদন ধীর রূপানন্দ বর্ধন সনাতন পালন হরিদাস মদন ধীর ব্রজরস ভাবন দুষ্টমত সাতন কপটে বিঘাতন কাম ব্রজরস ভাবন দুষ্টমত সাতন কপটে বিঘাতন কাম শুদ্ধ ভক্ত পালন শুষ্ক জ্ঞান তারণ ছল ভক্তি দূষণ রাম শুদ্ধ ভক্ত পালন শুষ্ক জ্ঞান তারণ ছল ভক্তি দূষণ রাম কলে কুকুর কদন যদি চাও হে কলে যুগ পাবন কলে ভয় নাশন শিশুকে নন্দন গাও হে কলে যুগ পাবন কলে ভয় নাশন শ্রী শচী নন্দন গাও হে শ্রী শচী নন্দন গাও হে হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল নিতাই গৌর হরি বল নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরে কৃষ্ণ থ্যাংক ইউ सब बलराम